Most seniors are told their falling energy is just part of getting older, that your body is simply slowing down, your fatigue is normal, your brain fog is expected, and that needing more rest than you used to is just the price of age. Size. But that is not the full story. Because deep inside your cells, tiny structures called mitochondria, the power plants that help turn food and oxygen into usable energy, can become less efficient with age, especially when they are under constant pressure from inflammation, blood sugar swings, inactivity, poor sleep, and oxidative stress. And when that happens, energy drops, recovery slows, and the body's repair systems have to work harder just to keep up. That broader aging connection between mitochondrial dysfunction and DNA damage is well recognized by the National Institute on Aging. Now here's the surprising part. Curious, there is one food many older adults can use every single day that may help create a friendlier environment for those mitochondria, may help calm some of the chronic inflammation that drains energy, and may help protect cells from the kind of oxidative stress that chips away at healthy aging over time. And it is not an expensive powder. Pause. It is not a trendy capsule. And it is not one of those flashy mitochondria boosters sold with miracle promises. It is extra virgin olive oil, not just olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. And what makes this important is not hype, it is biology. Because after 50, and especially after 60, your body becomes less forgiving. The systems that used to bounce back quickly from bad meals, poor sleep, too much sitting, and low-grade inflammation do not recover the same way. The damage is often quieter, slower, more subtle, but also more constant. And that means the foods you eat every day start sending a message to your cells, either stress or support. Here is what most people never get told. Low energy is not always about needing more caffeine or more motivation. Sometimes it is about cellular friction. Your body is still trying to make energy, still trying to repair damage, still trying to manage inflammation, but it is doing all of that in a noisier, less efficient environment. Think of it this way. When you were younger, your cells could often handle a little chaos, a bad night of sleep, too much sugar, not enough movement, a week of stress. But over time, that chaos leaves residue. Mitochondria become less efficient. The body produces more oxidative stress. Essentially, unstable molecules that can damage cell membranes, proteins, and DNA. And your repair systems, while still active, now have more cleanup to do. Harvard Health also warns people to be skeptical of miracle mitochondrial claims and points instead to proven lifestyle foundations rather than magical supplements. And this is where extra virgin olive oil becomes more interesting than most people realize. Because most people think of it as just a fat. It is not just a fat. Extra virgin olive oil contains monounsaturated fats, yes, but it also contains natural compounds called polyphenols. These are plant chemicals with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activity. And that is where the story gets more important after 50. These polyphenols may help reduce oxidative stress. In plain English, they may help neutralize some of the cellular wear and tear that builds up over time. They may also help reduce inflammatory signaling, which matters because chronic low-grade inflammation can quietly interfere with metabolism, blood vessels, brain health, and energy production year after year. Major clinical sources like Cleveland Clinic and Mayo Clinic both describe extra virgin olive oil as the least processed olive oil, rich in antioxidants, and associated with anti-inflammatory and cardiometabolic benefits. Now let me be careful here. I am not telling you that olive oil repairs your DNA overnight. I am not telling you that one spoonful will suddenly make you feel 20 years younger. And I am definitely not telling you this replaces treatment for heart disease, diabetes, severe fatigue, memory loss, or any other medical condition. But I am telling you something more believable, and in many ways more powerful. Extra virgin olive oil may help support a healthier internal environment, one where cells are under less oxidative attack, where inflammatory signals may be lower, and where the body's built-in maintenance systems are not constantly trying to dig themselves out of a hole. That matters, because healthy aging is not only about avoiding disease, it is about improving the cellular conditions that let your body function better day after day. Now let's go one layer deeper. Why do mitochondria matter so much? Because they are where a large part of your usable energy comes from. They help convert the fuel from food into ATP, the cellular energy currency your muscles, brain, heart, and organs rely on. When mitochondria are working well, cells generate energy more efficiently. When they are stressed or damaged, energy output can fall, and more reactive byproducts can spill out in the process. Harvard Health notes that exercise can increase mitochondria in muscle cells, which is one reason movement can actually improve energy over time instead of only draining it. And that leads to an important truth. If someone tells you one food alone will increase mitochondria fast, be very cautious. Real mitochondrial health is built by pattern, not magic. Movement matters, sleep matters, blood sugar control matters, muscle mass matters, overall diet quality matters. But that does not make food unimportant. It makes the right daily food even more valuable, because a food that gently supports lower inflammation and lower oxidative stress every single day can become part of the system that helps your cells run cleaner. And extra virgin olive oil fits that role extremely well. Now let's talk about why extra virgin matters so much. Regular olive oil is not necessarily bad, but extra virgin olive oil is the least processed form. It is made without the heavy refining that strips away some of the natural compounds. That means it tends to preserve more of the very polyphenols and antioxidants that make it special. Cleveland Clinic and Mayo Clinic both emphasize that extra virgin is the form people should prioritize when they want the most nutritional benefit. In other words, this is not the time to grab the cheapest bottle and assume it is all the same. Quality matters here. You want extra virgin olive oil. You want it in a dark bottle if possible. You want it stored away from heat and light. And you want to actually use it regularly, not let it sit in the pantry while processed fats dominate the rest of the week. Because here is another point many seniors miss. The benefit is not only from adding extra virgin olive oil, it is also from what it can replace. If extra virgin olive oil helps replace butter, margarine, highly processed spreads, or some ultra-processed foods loaded with lower quality fats, then you are not just adding something good, you are removing something that may have been making the cellular environment worse. Cleveland Clinic and Mayo Clinic both recommend using olive oil in place of less healthy fats as part of a heart healthier pattern. That replacement effect is huge, because your body does not respond to one ingredient in isolation. It responds to patterns, and this is where the real payoff begins. Older adults are often chasing energy in the wrong direction. They look for quick stimulation, more coffee, sugar, energy drinks, fancy supplements with dramatic labels. But what if your body does not need more stimulation? What if it needs less interference? What if the real issue is that your cells are trying to produce energy while dealing with too much oxidative stress, too much inflammatory noise, and too many metabolic ups and downs? That changes the whole conversation. Now, extra virgin olive oil will not act like a stimulant. You are not going to take a tablespoon and feel like you were plugged into a wall socket 20 minutes later. That is not the kind of energy we are talking about. We are talking about better cellular terrain, cleaner signaling, less inflammatory drag, more stable fuel handling, less wear and tear over time. And that kind of support is often exactly what older adults need most. There is also a larger reason extra virgin olive oil has earned so much attention. It is a central part of the Mediterranean dietary pattern, one of the most studied eating patterns for healthy aging and cardiovascular protection. Mayo Clinic highlights the Mediterranean diet as a heart-healthy long-term pattern, and more recent Mayo commentary points to improved endothelial function, lower inflammation, and better blood sugar stability in that overall pattern, especially when enriched with extra virgin olive oil. And that matters because better blood vessel function means better circulation. Better circulation helps deliver oxygen and nutrients, and oxygen delivery is central to mitochondrial energy production. So now you can see how this starts to connect. It is not just olive oil is healthy, it is that extra virgin olive oil may support multiple systems that influence how well the body ages. Inflammation, oxidative stress, vascular health, metabolic stability, cell membrane integrity. That is why it deserves serious attention. Now let's make this practical. How much should a senior actually use? For many people, a realistic daily target is around 1 to 2 tablespoons a day used with meals. Some broader Mediterranean-style guidance allows more, but for everyday use, 1 to 2 tablespoons is a smart, practical starting range for many older adults, especially if it is replacing less healthy fats rather than being poured on top of an already excessive calorie intake. Cleveland Clinic notes some studies have used up to about 4 tablespoons daily, but the key is that it should take the place of other added fats, not simply add extra calories without thought. And that leads to a common mistake. People hear that extra virgin olive oil is healthy, so they start adding large amounts to everything while changing nothing else. That misses the point. This is not about drowning your food in oil. This is about using a better fat strategically and consistently. Drizzle it over cooked vegetables. Use it on beans. Add it to salads. Use it over fish. Mix it into lentils. Use it in place of butter on roasted vegetables. Add it to soups after cooking. Pair it with meals built around whole foods. That is how it works best, as part of a healthier pattern. Another mistake is using very poor quality oil or old oil that has lost some of its freshness. Olive oil should be stored properly, used within a reasonable time after opening, and protected from light and heat. Cleveland Clinic specifically recommends cool, dark, dry storage and paying attention to freshness. Now let's talk safety. Even good foods are not one size fits all. If you have gallbladder issues, digestive sensitivity, pancreatic problems, or you are on a medically restricted diet, large changes should be discussed with your clinician. If you have diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease, unexplained fatigue, or unintentional weight loss, do not assume olive oil is the answer. Those conditions deserve proper medical evaluation. And if your energy is crashing, your shortness of breath is worsening, or your weakness is new, that is not a YouTube problem. That is a medical problem. Food can support physiology. It does not replace diagnosis. That said, for many older adults, extra virgin olive oil may be one of the simplest daily upgrades they can make. And here is the deeper reason I like it so much for seniors. Because it respects reality. It does not pretend that aging can be erased. It does not promise a miracle. It does not ask you to gamble on exotic supplements with weak evidence. It works at the level that aging really happens. Small daily inputs, repeated over time, changing the cellular environment little by little, and those little shifts matter. Less inflammatory pressure, less oxidative stress, better fat quality, a steadier dietary pattern, potential support for healthier blood vessels and metabolism. That is how real change often happens after 60, not in dramatic overnight transformations, but in reduced biological friction. And once you understand that, the title of this video makes more sense. Mitochondria increase, DNA repairs, energy comes back fast, should never be taken as a cartoon promise. The honest version is better than that. What may happen is this. When you consistently give your body a healthier fat source, rich in protective compounds, when you reduce some of the things that stress your cells, and when you combine that with movement, sleep, and better meals overall, your body may gradually shift toward a state that supports better energy production and healthier aging. That is not magic, that is physiology. And in my view, that is far more exciting, because it means you do not need a miracle, you need a smarter daily signal. So if you are over 50, over 60, or even over 70, and your energy is not what it used to be, do not just ask, what can I take? Ask, what environment am I creating inside my cells every day? That question changes everything, and one of the best daily answers may be sitting in your kitchen right now. Extra virgin olive oil. Use it consistently, use it wisely, use it in place of worse fats, and think of it not as a quick fix, but as a quiet ally for your mitochondria, your metabolism, and your long-term repair systems. Because the body you live in tomorrow is being shaped by the signals you send it today. I'm Dr. Becker, and if this helped you see energy and aging in a completely different way, let me know in the comments. Do you already use extra virgin olive oil every day, and have you noticed a difference in your energy, joints, digestion, or overall well-being? And if you know someone over 60 who is constantly tired and blaming it only on age, share this video with them. Make sure you like, subscribe, and stay with me here, because the foods that change aging biology are often not the ones making the loudest claims. They are the ones quietly working in the background every single day.